Today I've got a really off-the-cuff video for you, but I think you're going to like it. It features Jack Arnold, myself, and Chris Elmore, and the way it happened was Jack was down getting ready to do his final budgeting work with Chris, and we got into a good conversation, and I said, hang on, I want to capture this. So I just turned my phone on, and I stuck it in my dash. The angles are absolutely terrible. It makes me look awful, but that's okay because the content is great, and I wanted to share it with you. So this is 100% off the cuff. It wasn't planned, but I thought that it was worth capturing and sharing. So if you like very real conversations, not edited, and in the moment, then you're going to get that in this. I also want to say that in this video / podcast, whatever you want to call this, Jack talks about several of our programs, specifically our manager type program. And there's going to be links that are going to be embedded in the email as well as in the content on the website. I want you to come check out our manager program. It's tremendous. Jack also talks about being part of our ongoing program called the Accountability Program, so check that out. Okay, so this is Jack Arnold, Chris Elmore, and I just having a real candid conversation. I hope you enjoy it. So you said the first time you ever set a goal was when you came to our class?
Yeah, I set goals in Chris's sales class, Loudermilk sales class, and then in Elmore's class too. And like,
yay, Elmore! Yeah, I like that Elmore guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just sat down and go to a quiet. You guys had us go to a quiet spot, wrote it all down. Is it time or money? Wasn't an object. What would I do today? What would I want to do with today?
The vision session part.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
It's amazing.
And you know, that's sometimes I kind of like force some things into the programs that some of our guys are like, oh, that's weird, Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
what?
Like the go do your vision casting. Go take 30 minutes of quiet time and
What guys?
like Terry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Really?
Terry's like, you know, he's amazing. But there's some things that I teach is like, he just thinks it's odd or pushing the boundaries. Like me and my morning ritual routine and talking about rituals with you guys. Like you got to have a consistent thing that you do all the time.
Totally.
He's like, man, I don't know about talking about rituals. I'm like, you know, Terry, we're not talking about religious rituals. We're just talking about like life rituals. He kind of comes around to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad to hear you say that because I find those things very valuable too. You know where that came from for me? Was a John Eldridge men's retreat that I went to where we would get together and then there were times when they're like, now just go. We'll see in an hour. And I'll tell you, one of the exercises that happened there, Elmore, have you ever done this on purpose? Was they told us that we couldn't speak again to anybody or check voicemail or anything. Don't talk to anyone on the phone. It was 100% silent. And just go concentrate on the task at hand. And I would think that was from like 4 to like 10 at night.
Wow.
And there's hundreds of people there, and no one said a word.
That's awesome.
For 6 hours, and it was wild, man. You know, I took a walk into the mountains, and just kind of was like part of nature. And I know that people do that when they're hunting, so maybe that's part of the joy of what you guys find when it comes to hunting. But it was really, really cool. It's like you could feel, and the best way I know how to describe it is like that low hum of unrelenting distractions and obligations. You could feel it just starting to kind of like melt away.
Nice.
It was cool, man.
A couple of things. Sometimes when you get on an airplane, it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because what are you going to worry about on an airplane?
I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, you go.
Dying.
Well, you could, but I mean, that's out of your head after you've done it so much, and you're just
Right.
You're on that airplane. It's amazingly focused time if you choose to use it for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Another time for me is sitting in a deer blind. You know, it's amazingly focused time because You're worried about being quiet. You're not worried about what the next thing's going to happen is, and you know you're going to be sitting there for 2 or 3 hours, maybe longer. But another place that happens,
I'd fall asleep.
and I don't know if you guys have done this or not, but you know, I lived in Virginia Beach, and so I served from the time I could drive, so 16 on up until we moved to Waco in 2004. I surfed a lot, and it's an amazing feeling. You get out in the water, and you finally get out past the waves. You're out in the lineup. You're sitting there waiting on a wave, and it's so peaceful. It's just, just nothing. That's all you're thinking about.
I can see that. So, do you remember any of the things you wrote down when you went off and did that first, like, getaway session?
Yeah. I achieved some of the goals, not all of them, but gotten a lot closer to stuff that I haven't fully achieved that I probably would have never gotten to. So some of them were like lose 50 pounds in a year. I gained like 50 pounds when I quit smoking like 7 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Replaced it with just eating. So I've got like 15 pounds left to lose.
Dude, 35's a lot. I mean, that's a lot.
Yep. I wanted to break a million. In Loudermilk's class, I wrote I wanted to break $1 million, and I've done that already. Like 1.2 million in sales this year.
That's through the year so far?
I'm going to correct you. 1.33
Thank you.
through October.
Thank you.
The power in having a coach that knows your numbers.
That's right. Yes, and that helps me learn how to read them.
We need $430,000 in 2 months to hit that other goal. What was the other goal?
The other goal that I set in your class was 1.8 million. So I used that thumb drive that you guys gave us, and we were working. I didn't have really good financials. I wasn't really tracking jobs or anything like that, but I just took 1 month. Instead of like going through all 12 months, I just took 1 month, like a decent month that I had, like what would be a good example of the work that I normally did. And I could just tell by the cost of the job if it was like an install or a service call or something like that. So I used the key performance indicators that you guys have given us, and then enter that into the Excel spreadsheet that you guys have given us, and it populated, and it was like 1.8 million. I'm like, oh my God, like I can do this. Like if I just increase my numbers and raise our prices and do the options and everything like that, like it's probably gonna happen.
You know that spreadsheet that you were talking about with those projections?
Yeah.
I was reviewing that this morning with a potential ongoing client because he came through the owner's class.
Cool.
And I've seen it before, right? And I've got a similar forecast sheet that I use for us, but all the same core concepts. Now, what was interesting to me is that my forecast sheet didn't come from what Kerry and what Elmore built, but it still came from the same place. Like you guys had it broken down by your departments, I had it broken down by departments. It's all basically the exact same thing. The difference was that when I looked at what they put together, I went, man, that's so much classier. I mean, it looks so good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So that's actually what we're doing on Monday. Shannon and I are sitting there reviewing all of our financials and our projections and the budget, same thing. But I sent her, after this morning, Elmore, I sent her the spreadsheet that you guys created, and I said, let's put them into this one instead. Nice. Let's relabel it by departments, and let's use this one because it just looks so much better. And it does. It looks great.
So easy to use, too.
Super easy to use, and yeah, when you start seeing it, it's like, okay, all right, I see what I got to do. Kind of scary too, though, right? Because like then you know you got to hire 2 or 3 more people to make it happen.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what happened. Was first couple months when in this year were slow, and I was like, oh man,
look at this super unflattering angle I got us on.
I know it is. I'm like,
sorry,
it looks like I lost the 15 pounds. And
you lost it. Look at.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, I'm your coach. You remember What's that movie? Weird Science,
Oh yeah.
where Bill Paxton end up turning into like
The Blob.
the Blob. There it is. Look. that angle gives us the Blob look. Boy, that's a way to ruin a great segment. Look at yourself and go, man, I look like crap, but I came to a stoplight, so that's all right. I'm gonna get me one of those things to stick right here so that we can, and I'm not cutting this out. Brandy, leave all this self-deprecating humor in here, because why not? It's true. Oh, y'all want coffee? Because I know I asked you if you did. You said no, but I'm getting coffee.
Okay.
And
Yes,
want
and
coffee?
the excuse
Yes,
you said earlier was you use the excuse that there's guests in town, right? So you could say, well, I thought maybe Jack was saying no just to be polite. So that's why I still wanted to drive.
But you know,
even though I said no.
You know, they must have had like a fender bender or something. You know, you were talking about people don't really say what they really want.
Right.
I do absolutely take the excuse when a guest is in town to get another one. But this is me practicing your wisdom. I want a damn coffee. You
That's
want
right.
one or not?
That's right. Just tell me.
Just a small one, Todd.
Small latte?
12 ounce latte.
Okay. You want anything?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you, though.
Hi, welcome to Summer Room. What can I get started for you today?
Let me get a 12-ounce latte, please.
You want whole milk?
Whole milk's great.
All right. Anything else for you today?
Yes. Let me get an iced Americano.
Did you want a 16 or 20 ounce?
I just need 2 shots, whatever ounce that is.
How many shots did you say?
Just 2 is fine, unless it comes with 3. Whatever the small one is.
16 comes with 3. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Actually,
room for 3?
Make it a 12 ounce. Do you have a 12 ounce in iced or not?
No, the 16 is the smallest we have.
Okay.
I can just put 2 shots if that's what you want.
No, just give me a 12 ounce hot
Hey,
then.
everybody,
That'll be
this
fine.
is how not to do it in a drive-thru.
Well, yeah, 2 shot Americano, a little bit of ice in there so it's not too hot. A little sugar and a little cream.
Can you say high maintenance?
It's like
have a preference on
the
the
George
sugar?
Costanza
Roll.
when he's ordering his latte and that.
That's it.
Oh,
unless
what's the country
unless
singer's
you've
name?
got better
It's in a
company
video.
in there, because the company in this car is terrible. If not, I think we're good.
Not exactly. It's
Okay.
not too busy.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
What's that country singer's name? Brad Paisley. Yeah.
Pardon me.
Oh yeah, sorry.
What? Hey, Elmore, I need some money. I'm not letting you buy.
Oh, come on.
But my wallet's in the back. I got my wallet. It's just no.
Come on, I got
You're
it.
not even getting anything.
Well, still.
No, sir. So what's the plan for next year, man? We've been following you for a year.
Yeah, we're going to do an updated podcast today.
Oh yeah, I'll pull up my. So
I don't think we've been as consistent as we wanted to, which was a check-in every month, but it's been about every quarter.
Yeah.
No, we intended to do once a quarter.
Did we? Okay,
Yeah.
well then we're good.
So
I couldn't remember.
Next month it'll be
Thanks.
a year that Jack's been with us. He started
year.
like December 16th.
And you've had so I think we're saying we're trying to hit 1.8.
1.8. Yep.
Actually, you know what? This is the podcast, guys.
You're at 2 stars.
This is it here.
Oh, thank you.
We're doing it. We're
Instead
in it.
of Studio C,
Look how weird that lighting
Studio
looks.
T. Travel.
Studio C, which is Studio Chris.
CE. Chris Elmore. What's up? I like how they give you a little board.
That's nice, isn't it?
I'm surprised they make you sign it.
I like how they just assume that I'm not going to do my own math, and they're like, "Hey,
I know.
let me make it easy for you. Pick the one in the middle. That's 30%."
There's a 30% tip.
Look, I gave them 20, but check it out. Look at how they do their options. So, guys, we talk about options. Option number 1 is just the price, no tip. Option number 2 is, do you want to give a minimum tip? Do you want to give $2, which I think would end up being about 25-30%, or do you want to give 3? That's 4 options.
Boom.
Look, they're practicing what we preach.
Thank you.
Now, I still wrote in my own, so I went with number 5, which is to give them 20%.
Hey, sometimes the customers do that though. They want to write in their own. I'll take it.
Man, I need one of these guys. Thank you.
What is that? What does that show Jerry Seinfeld has on Netflix?
Thank you.
Comedians in cars getting coffee.
Comedians in cars getting coffee.
Oh yeah.
Consultants in cars getting
Yeah,
coffee.
there you go.
Because there's only one comedian in here. He's sitting in the back seat. We can't even see you right now. You can lean in if you want.
I got a joke.
Oh, we're here.
Knock knock.
Where do you find a dog with no legs?
Where do you find a dog with no legs? In between a bun?
A pound. Oh, hey, I like that, Todd.
Right where you left them.
Oh, yeah. That's good. I like that. I like
So,
that.
Jack, answer the question.
All right. So what's up for
If
next
anybody's
year?
still watching this, by the way, answer the question for people out there. So we know where you're at through October. 1.33. We want to get to 8. You need another 470, and you've got another 120 on the books. We know is going to get done.
Yep.
So we're chasing about a 350 in the next 6 weeks, and there's more out there. So we're going to get real close, if not past that,
Totally.
to the 1.8. So what's it going to be for next year?
So after the session we had with you on Monday, sometimes I'll take time with the guys, or maybe I'll invite like a vendor in to talk about a product or do some safety training. So this time I took some time, like an hour with the guys, and was just talking about some process stuff, and then I let them, some of them knew I was coming down here. I didn't broadcast it totally, not that I was hiding it or anything. Just
Guess what? They know.
yeah, they know now. And that's cool. And I sat down with them and I said, well, let's talk about our goals for 2019. So I've been very vocal about what the goal is for the company, 1.8 million. So I wanted them to have some ownership and setting a financial goal. And we were thinking we'd do at least 1.5 million this year. And my install manager, Mike, is like, we got to go for 3.1. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. That's great.
It's good that they're pushing you.
Yeah, exactly. And so there was a little bit of pushback about that from Barry, my office manager, and then, and it wasn't pushback. It was just think about that, a little bit. And the consensus was, after we thought about it a little bit, maybe if we increased by $1 million, that's pretty huge. That's pretty huge too. So we set the goal of 2.5 million. Secretly, I'm still going for 3.1.
We're gonna run it both ways, because later today Jack and I are gonna start filling in his budget, which we've already been talking about it. And
Yeah.
Theory and this, that, and the other number. So we're gonna put it in the budget. We're gonna do it both ways.
Hey, I got a question for you, man. What about the electrician? Because you're an electrical contractor, that might be thinking that we can't help them because, they see consultants like us who oftentimes will have a background in air conditioning or plumbing and not always electrical. What about that guy?
I think it all applies. I mean, the process is all the same. I think you guys, Service Excellence Training hasn't told me how to run my business or, tried to tell me how to do electrical work or anything like that. That's something that the electrician's going to have to figure out, obviously. But I think the hardest part for me was trying to figure out how to do the flat rates. So maybe that's a hold up for an electrician. There's so much stuff and you just got to simplify it. And I just think, as an electrician, being in the field and now working on my business more, not in it as much, I don't overthink the thing too much. It's, you know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like
I don't overthink the installation part of it.
Yeah.
And
do you feel like Elmore
specifics.
helped you with your flat rate?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I just wanted
Yeah,
I wanted to check that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely helped me with the flat rate. I'm not saying that they didn't, that you guys haven't, but
Where do we need to get better? Because I'm not ashamed or too proud to admit that, we can't learn.
Oh yeah.
What do we need to improve, man?
I don't know. I mean, that's a tough question, I guess, because I've found everything that you guys have, the information that I've received from you guys is friggin' awesome. And
will you tell us if you do think of something?
Yeah, I give Chris feedback like, hey, I don't think my guys are like understanding disc personality profiles, and we collaborated about. I'm like, man, I think we should restart the sales process because the press play process because I've had so many new guys, and when Chris came out to Chicago, I think we just started that, or we just restarted, or we restarted
we
right
used
after that
to restart.
Yep.
And we went back to the beginning and talked about being prepared. Then we talked about, we started going through the process again.
Yep.
And right now we've walked through prepare, relationship, evaluation with questions, and talking about learning how the customer lives with it before we learn about it.
Yep.
And now we've gone through, we did the prescription pyramid last week.
Yep.
Essential lesson yesterday for Monday's session, which is going to be
the checklist.
Using a diagnostic checklist, and then right after that, we're going to go into the psychology of options and having 4 options. And so we've done all those things before, but when we started it, it was Jack, Mike, Art, and a guy named Joe who's not with him anymore.
Yep.
And that's who it was in the beginning.
Yep.
Why didn't you get mad at us, or frustrated, or disillusioned, or decide you got to quit when we had to dig back in and make some corrections and adjust things?
I just feel like you guys are completely committed to my success, and I feel like if I tell you I got something, there's something cooking in my mind, you guys are listening to it, and like you said, like improving upon it.
Yeah. The reason why I bring that up is that as any company grows, they go through phases, and even ours, you go through the excited that anyone would knock on the door phase. I think a lot of franchises struggle with that too. They're like, hey, we're a brand new franchise. We'll figure out how to get you in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then some of the byproduct of that, however, I think, is that oftentimes there's not conversations that are had that say, we're in this together. Let's make sure we're communicating. I think there can be the false assumption that your consultants, now that you've got a consultant, that's it. They're just gonna tell you exactly what you're supposed to do, and you're just gonna shut up and listen. And if you don't tell them there's an issue, why didn't they know it? And that's a trap, because this doesn't really work well unless we are part of the team. And I knew that you would work out well. Like, I remember talking very clearly to Elmore, because I was walking in my neighborhood with my family.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just before I did that Facebook live stream, and I tried to bring you on, if you remember. I think that might have been. Yeah, so.
I remember that.
But we were like, Jack's going to be a good guy for this. We'll be able to help him because he's got the right mindset. And I think that's important for you to hear, that we're saying you've got the right mindset.
Appreciate that.
And the fact that you're like, hey, let's work on something together.
Yeah.
And you tell us what's going on, and business is full of ups and downs. I'm thinking of like Steve Egner and Rachel. They've been with us for 7 years now. 7 years.
Wow. Awesome.
And in that 7-year period, we have completely rebuilt 2 times from essentially brand new teams. In the beginning, we had this team of 4 that, my goodness, talk about amazing at sales. And then we lost all 4 of those guys, and then we built back up. And then they didn't all go at once, but we transitioned to the current team that we have now, and they're growing like crazy and doing phenomenal things.
Really?
Yeah, and you know what? That they've always seen an increase in revenue. They've always seen an increase in profits. But that isn't to say that they haven't had struggles. But,
oh, right, yeah.
But the thing with Steve and Rachel, they have the attitude that you have, which is they communicate, and they don't look at us as like we caused their problem.
Right.
And that's
exactly.
Have you noticed that, Elmore? When the client, when the guy sitting in Jack's seat, who had a problem or had something that they wanted to be better, decide that it must have been the coach that caused the problem, so therefore let's fire them.
Mm-hmm. Without talking about it.
But the problems are still there when we're fired.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So I'll tell you that I appreciate the attitude that you take to us, and I appreciate the attitude that Steve and Rachel and a lot of our clients take, which is we're part of the team.
Yeah, and I think the one thing about Jack is Jack doesn't treat me as a vendor.
We're not a vendor. You don't need to, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, no, Jack doesn't treat me as a vendor,
Yeah.
It's more than just my face on his screen, which, as
Yeah.
you all can see, why wouldn't you want this? For
As
an
you all
hour
can see
each
who's
week.
better looking, though.
What?
If
So,
I put the camera here, I'd look better.
maybe not. But I'm not just a guy I'm not just a trainer on the screen.
Yeah.
An hour a week. I'm active in the business. Jack doesn't make a decision without at least talking to me, or informing me beforehand, so I can throw up, hey, Jack, I'm seeing this red flag here, or whatever. And I don't make decisions for Jack. That, if you're thinking that's what our relationship is, that's not what it is. And one of the things too is, as consultants, I feel like a lot of times consultants have to find issues in a company to fix, so they justify their existence.
Yeah, that's no fun.
And I'm not looking for that. We're not looking for that as consultants, but we want to be trainers.
Yeah.
To train your team for you, because you don't maybe have the time or the inclination to try to figure it out and do it.
Totally.
But also because we also want to be consultants, because you've got to have certain things in place to what we train, or you won't get the maximum value out of it. And I think that's one thing about Jack is Jack's been like a lump of clay. He's like, just mold the business. Let's do what we got to do.
Yep.
We'll try it. If it's not working, I'll tell you.
Exactly.
Thank goodness we haven't had any issues like that.
No. And it's funny too. Like everything that I'm learning, I wanted to. I remember like I took all my. Oh, there was like 4 of us. I rented a conference room one day, and we were doing some training, and I said, I'm going to do this every quarter. And then I was looking for like a customer service training company. And it was $3,000 for one day. And I'm like, I don't think that translates to what I'm looking to do. And then, that was like a year or 2 before I met you guys, So like I had all these things that I wanted to do in my business, and I had some of these ideas, and you guys helped me.
And mind you, we're twice as much for one day.
Yes.
Keep going though.
Yeah. Wait, you're twice as much for one day? No, you're not.
For an on-site.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just to get going.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I don't know where the point was going. It was
because I jacked you up.
It was building off of what Chris was saying.
You were about to say how amazing we were, and I'm like, hang on, I don't even want to think we're under 3,000 a day, because we're not.
You guys have heard of Captain Obvious? Meet General Thunderstealer right here.
Here, I want to. Here, hold that, Jack.
You got it.
You know how to operate those things.
Yeah.
Let's run inside, but I got to get my bag.
Oh, got the... there we go. World Headquarters, Service Excellence Training in Buda.
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 You can't say Buddha.
Buda.
It's not Buddha.
Buda.
That's probably how Todd said it when he first came off the boat from Mississippi.
I did say Buddha. I thought it was Buddha.
I like those shoes. Except 2 mismatched shoes on purpose. Or
That's how they come. I got 2 sets of these, and they mismatch.
You know what? I got to get my wallet out of here.
All right, brother. I'm running out.
after the podcast. We're going to chop it up a little bit.
See the keypad for details.
Thanks.
Thank you.
What was your point you're trying to make? Because I stole your thunder.
I guess I don't know what the point was trying to make. What were you talking about, Chris, when we were...
I was talking about how we're not just a face on the screen for an hour. And you started talking about you had rented a conference room.
Yeah, I'd rented a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do. I just couldn't put together, and you have like helped me, give me the information, and it's like you're like a CEO at my fingertips, basically. You know,
I like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm just a regular guy. I graduated from high school, got into the trade, took 1 year of junior college, and then I was in the trade full time then as an apprentice. I went back for maybe like 50 college credits and some personal interest courses. So I don't have any like business training or business experience. It's just been like hard work and grinding. I know electrical work inside and out. I feel like I got a little bored with that, and I really like what I'm doing, working on the business. And I was overcomplicating things before, and you just helped me simplify it. Like just another way I think I'm going to reach my goal of 3.1 million is by, right now what we're doing is just kind of I'm going to redo my flat rate manual because it's not laid out quite the way that I want it after we've tried it out and tested it out. So what I want to do is work it a little bit better so the guys can sell a little bit better off of it, because really what we're trying to shoot for now is we're using it kind of as like a guide, but we got the key performance indicator, so I'm looking for like $1,000 to $1,500 in sales per tech per day. So I know that that's kind of what they're shooting for. So if I can increase, if we can do it more task-based, where we can get higher service tickets, I know that I'll reach that goal better. So I would have never been able to think like this before, and I just was overcomplicating things, kind of like I was talking about earlier, of thinking about the thing and the electrical work too much. So like if you're an electrician, you're listening to this, like this applies to you 100%. But like when you kind of came out, you saw like the cloth covered wire, and it wasn't a problem that you were looking to find. You just like, hey, this is an obstacle for you guys.
It was a communication
Yeah,
issue. Is all it was.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter if it's cloth covered wire, or as we were talking earlier, and as I've talked to some other clients this week, or a cracked heat exchanger.
Yes.
Those are pretty controversial issues in cloth covered wire and electrical heat exchangers for HVAC. Those are the things people hear about on the news, or people get injured or killed, or somebody's ripping somebody off because of that. And that was just, what I saw there was just a communication issue.
Right, exactly.
That's all, and that's what we dealt with.
Yeah.
We dealt with it on communication level.
Yeah, and everybody feels better about it now.
Yeah, I think so. I think
it's going to help me out.
I could feel a weight lift off the room when we talked about how, hey guys, here's how we're going to do cloth covered wire from now on.
Yeah, because I even found too that like I was giving my people mixed messages, because some people thought that we wouldn't work on cloth covered wire. Some people thought that we would. So now like we've come up with a system and a process that we can work on it, and everybody feels comfortable. The homeowner knows about it, and we're not risking going back into the customer's house to fix something that was cloth covered wire related.
So I think what I'm hearing is, if I can quote Pedro, work was set, and all your dreams will come true.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey Jack, can we post your contact information here? Is that cool?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So if the guys want to talk to you, can they do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So guys, we talk a lot about our classroom events. We don't talk a lot necessarily about our coaching events. We need to change that up, like our ongoing agreements. But part of the reason why we don't is because we don't have much space in those. We only put 12 guys like Jack with one coach, and that's our business model, and it won't change. If you're accustomed to consulting companies where they got one of these guys, serving 100 to 300, that's not this.
No,
not at all. No. So that's the thing, right? And I think by the time you see this, there's probably only going to be 2 or 3 spots that we even have open anyway. But don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are growing our team next year by 2 or more coaches. They will all be highly qualified. They'll be of our heart and our mindset. So if you're interested, Brandy will put a form below here. and just fill it out. And we'll definitely get in touch with you. It will be very informative. It will be a deep exploration. It will not be a hard sell, but we will be very crystal clear with you about what you need to do.
So, Jack, what do we do here?
Turn learning into earning, basically.
That's right. That's what we do at Service Excellence Training.
All right.
Turn learning into earning.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Take care.